Today I'm going to talk to you about how all students should learn how to play an instrument. The main thing is that I want to show you, or more like tell you, that a lot of scientists have actually looked into this, more so than I personally thought had. And all of them came up with 10 things that they all found. Some of them in common, some of them weren't. And like Kent University, for example, they came up with 10, and I'm only going to mention a couple. And the main one is like every single one that they came up was that the first one was it made you smarter. Learning to play an instrument makes you smarter. And the second one is it helps you relax. Just learning to play an instrument helps you relax. The third one is that it's fun. Those were like the main three things that I found in all three or several scientific studies. And so, one thing I want to point out is that parents seem to find every little thing they can to help their child be successful in any career that they want to. Most every parent wants their child to become a doctor or a lawyer, something where they don't have to worry about financial issues. Understandable, because my family has been through financial trouble and it's just hard to get through that, and just to realize how much one little item costs and how that can affect you and how much you have to work to just get that one little thing. Like a phone, for example, I would have to work so many hours to get a new iPhone. That would be a month's pay of mine, which I find ridiculous. And so parents try to find every little thing that they can to help their child. They put them through all sorts of classes, like private tutors and lessons with different people, and get them in study groups. They do every little thing they can. And what baffles me is that not many parents push their kids to go into music. Why wouldn't you? There's so many scientific studies that proves that it helps and it actually makes you smarter. So why would parents not want their children to learn to play an instrument? Why would they not want them to be the best they are? Because if they do, they would want them to play an instrument. And if they don't, well, then they just don't care. There's all these stories in life that you go through, and you hear other people's stories and you realize that they're similar to yours in a way. And so I want to tell you a little bit of a friend of mine's. I'm going to call him John, and I'm going to tell you how music helped him. I met him when he was just coming into high school. And I was in music by this time. I was a junior or senior in high school. And I realized he didn't have a lot. I didn't realize how little he actually had until later, but I knew he didn't have a lot. I came to find out that he didn't have almost anything at home. He had no hygiene products. He had no access to clean water to take a shower. He had to walk to and from school. And he had to do everything on his own and he had to find food on his own as well. His parents didn't really care, and it was just baffling to me. My parents cared. Every parent that I had ever met cared and wanted their best for their child, but his family just didn't really care. And I also came to find out that he didn't have very many friends either. Where I come from is pretty much an all redneck school. You know, southern schools and how they are. And he was the only black male in that class. And so it was a struggle for him because he was very different from everybody else. And he didn't have much of anything for one. He had no friends. And so he didn't know how to connect to others. He ended up joining music and learning to play an instrument. Granted, at first, he wasn't very good. He didn't get to practice at home, and so he practiced at school. He always tried to hide in the background. He's amazing at what he does. He now has friends. He has people who care for him and want him to be the best he can be. And we're like a family. A big, big family. You hear people talk about, oh, that's my band family. Well, you find connections in people that you didn't think you would. In music, there are a lot more people that you have connections to, that you can feel what they feel. Like you go through similar things that they go through. Like James Galway, for example, one of the best flute players, was not from a very rich family at all. He was born in World War II, and then the Great Depression happened in his country where he lived, and his family didn't have anything. And so he grew up without anything. He had to work so hard, and he found music similar to what I did. And so he pushed himself, worked hard, and paid a lot, and I mean a lot of money. It would be about $400 in American money now. And that was just per one lesson. And I can't remember off the top of my head if it was every week or every other week or every month, but he had it very regularly. And so he went to the lesson and with this very talented woman, and then he got better over time. And now he's the best flute player there is. So he came from nothing and became something. And so that's how several musicians actually came, is they came from nothing and became something. And that's what I believe what John did. And I believe that's what John is going to be able to do, is come from nothing and become something. So, learning all of this, that all students, my personal opinion, should learn to play an instrument. There's so many benefits. There is scientific proof. I mean, if I was a parent, I would want my kid to learn to play an instrument because it benefits them. It gives them the opportunity to succeed in every aspect of their life. So I hope I gave you something to think about, and I hope you have a nice day.